Hello friends, welcome to the PG department of LJ University. This is the lecture series of subject Applied Mathematics for the first semester student in Computer Engineering branch. Here I, Dharmin Patel, presenting the video on the topic Matrices and System of Linear Equation from the unit number 1 Linear Algebra of this course. Here in the 15 minutes video, we will discuss the contents of unit number 1. Here we will discuss the row echelon form of a matrix, reduced row echelon form of a matrix and rank of a matrix. Now we will start with the topic row echelon form of a matrix. Row echelon form of a matrix is nothing but one special type of presentation or format of the matrix in which we have to satisfy or we have to follow the some conditions of matrix, and here we can only apply the row operations. We can't apply the column operation to convert our original matrix into the row echelon matrix. So here we will discuss the row echelon matrix property. A matrix is said to be row echelon form if it satisfies following properties. The first property of the row echelon matrix is a zero row, or every zero row is always below the non-zero row in the matrix. That means we have to collect all the zero rows and put at the bottom of the matrix. Here we have a one matrix, and in which the third number row is zero row. Totally all the entries of third number row are zero row and fourth number row is non-zero row. So according to our condition, it should be the below the fourth number row. So here to convert into the last row, we interchange the third and fourth row. Then finally our third row becomes the fourth row and fourth row becomes the third row. So we get matrix of this type, and in which here all the zero rows or zero rows at the all non-zero rows. So finally in this condition we have to convert all the zero row, or we collect the all zero rows at the bottom of matrices. Now we will see the second property of the row echelon form. In this property, each first non-zero element of non-zero row from the left hand side should be a 1. If it is not 1, then we can divide whole the entries, whole the row by that particular non-zero number and we convert into the 1. So we can easily convert the non-zero number into a 1 by dividing whole the row by that particular non-zero number. So our second condition is this: first non-zero number from the left side to the non-zero row should be a 1, and all the entries below that particular 1 must be a 0. That is the most important condition, and that a particular 1 is known as the leading one. Sometime it is known as also leading element. So this is our matrix. In this matrix we can see that the first element of the first row is non-zero and it is 3, it is not a 1. So we have to convert into the 1 number. So we divide the first row by 3, and finally we get the first row is 3, 2, minus 3, 1 by 3 and 5 after dividing first row by 3. So then other rows are actually as it is, and zero rows are already at the bottom of the matrix. So first condition and second conditions are satisfied, but according to the second condition, all the entries below the particular 1 should be 0. Here third and fourth row have a 0 entry, but second row below the first one is not 0. So we have to convert into the 0 by row operation. So here we apply this row operation, first row multiply with -2 and adding into 2 applied on R2, then we get finally 0 in place of 2 in the second row. So other rows are as it is, and second row will be here 0, 1, -1, 1 by 3 and -1. So that is the perfect form. According to the previous two conditions, all the zero rows are at the bottom of the matrix and all the non-zero entries in the row from the left side are 1. So here we can see that this is the leading one in the first row, this is the leading one in the second row, and this is the leading one in the third row, and all the entries below that leading one are 0. So that is this matrix satisfies the previous two conditions. And now we will see the third property of the row echelon form, in which all the leading elements are shifted to the right side to the previous leading element of above row leading element, and all the entries below the leading element and left side to the leading element must be a 0. So here we can see that in this example all the leading elements have a 0 entry left side to the particular leading one, and we can see that the first leading element in the first row is at the first column, second leading element in the second row is at the right side of the previous leading element. In the third row our leading element is in the fourth number column, and in the fourth row our leading element is in the third number column. So here we can understand that our third number leading element and fourth number leading element are not properly arranged. Our fourth number leading element is left side to the third number leading element, so that is not permittable according to the third number condition. Our fourth number leading element or fourth number leading one is always right side to the third number leading element, so that is not a proper format of row echelon form. So we have to rearrange these two rows like interchanging third and fourth row, and after interchanging the third and fourth row we apply to interchange the third and fourth row we apply the R34 operation, and finally we can see here our third row becomes a fourth row and fourth row becomes a third row. Then we can see that all the leading elements are right side to the previous leading element. Now it is a proper row echelon form format according to the third number condition, and we get here all the entries below and left side to the leading element are always 0. So that is the perfect form of our matrix, and which is converted into the properly row echelon form. So finally, when our matrix, any matrix follows these three conditions, then it is look like this. Here I am taking the one example of order 6 cross 8, that means the 6 rows and 8 columns in this matrix, and we can see that all the 0 rows are at the bottom of the matrix. First elements are 1 in the non-zero rows from the left side, and all the elements are right side to the previous leading elements. So that type of situations occur here, and that is the perfect row echelon form of the matrix. And we can see that all the entries below and left side to the leading element are always 0. So that is also we can see easily here. So finally, this type of matrix is called a row echelon form, and it must satisfies above three conditions of matrix. Now these are the some examples of a matrix which are in row echelon form. Now we will see the next topic of our session. This is the reduced row echelon form. So reduced row echelon form is very similar to row echelon form. First of all, we convert our matrix into the row echelon form, and then we add the one more conditions into the row echelon form, and that will becomes a reduced row echelon form. So here before converting into the reduced row echelon form, first we convert into the row echelon form. So we first of all apply these three conditions. A matrix which satisfies these three conditions, then it is of this type of matrix. In this matrix we can see that all the 0 rows are at the bottom of the matrix, and all the leading ones are right side to the previous leading element, and all the entries below the leading elements are 0, and also left side entries of the leading element are also 0. So that is a perfect row echelon form. Now in the reduced row echelon form we add the one condition here. we see all the entries above the leading element, which are here in the second column, fifth column and seventh column, all the marked with the black circles, and these are the entries above the leading element. We have to convert into the 0 in the reduced echelon form. That means in the reduced echelon form, our fourth property is like this: each column that contains the leading one or leading element has everywhere other entries are 0. That means every elements other than leading one in that particular column must be a 0. That is our fourth property, and it is the matrix after converting into the reduced echelon form. It is look like this. Here our leading elements are in the first column, second column, fourth column and last column, and we can see that all the entries above the leading element and below the leading element are also 0. So that is the perfect reduced row echelon form, and these are the some examples of reduced row echelon form. So first matrix is I3, that means the 3 cross 3 identity matrix, in which we have all the leading elements are right side to the previous leading element, and all the entries below and above the leading ones are 0. In the second examples, we have also same type of situation, but last column doesn't contain the leading element, so it is known as the generally non-pivot column. So here we recall that a column which contains the leading one, that is called a pivot column, and a column does not contains the leading one, that is called a non-pivot column. Now we will see the one more topic on this syllabus. Here the rank of a matrix is our next topic. In this topic we have to understand the definition of the rank, but we identify the rank from the number of leading element in the row echelon form or reduced row echelon form. So this is the definition of the rank of a matrix. A non-zero integer k is said to be rank of a matrix A of order m cross n if m contains the at least one non-zero determinant of order k cross k. So here the determinant is always in the square form, so it is order, it should be a order of k cross k if our matrix rank is k and its value is non-zero. That is the important thing, and all the other determinants whose order are bigger than k cross k must be a 0. That is our second condition. If these two conditions are holds, then our matrix rank should be 1. Okay, and the rank of a matrix is denoted like this: row of A is equal to rank of matrix. Now we will see some properties of the rank of a matrix. Here first property is rank of matrix of order m cross n is less than or equal to minimum number of m or n. Here m denotes the number of row in the matrix and n denotes the number of column of matrix. So here we understand with the one example, if our matrix is of order, here matrix is Aij and its order is suppose 4 cross 7, that means the number of columns are more than number of rows, then rank of A is obviously minimum of these two. That means the rank of A is less than or equal to 4, and if our matrix of A of order, suppose it is a 5 cross 3, that means the number of row are bigger than number of column. So in this case the rank is less than or equal to minimum of these two, that is 3. So finally this is the concept of the rank when our order of matrix is m cross n. Now we will see the second property of the rank. Rank of a square matrix A n cross n. Here the number of row and number of columns are same, so we can say that rank of A or square matrix n cross n is less than or equal to n. And the third property is this: the rank of non-singular matrix, that means the invertible matrix, is always n, because invertible matrix is always square matrix and its rank is less than or equal to n. But when the determinant of matrix A is not equal to 0, then the matrix is singular matrix or invertible matrix. So at that time the rank of matrix is directly n, exactly equal to n. If the matrix is singular matrix, that means the determinant of a square matrix is equal to 0. In this case the rank is less than n, and the rank of 0 matrix is 0 and rank of identity matrix is in equal to n, because identity matrix is always non-singular matrix, square matrix, so its rank is n. But generally every time in any type of matrix we identify the rank of matrix by this particular formula. First of all, we convert that matrix into the row echelon form or reduced row echelon form, and after converting into the row echelon form or reduced row echelon form, the rank of matrix is exactly number of leading element in that particular row echelon form or reduced row echelon form. Now we will see some examples on the rank of matrix and row echelon form and reduced row echelon form. Here we have to convert our matrix into the row echelon form and find the rank. So here first of all we write down our matrix, which is 1, 2, 3, minus 1, 2, 1 and 0, 1, 2. Now we have to convert all the entries below the first leading element equal to 0. So we add the second row, add the first row into the second row. So then after applying the R1 plus R2 on R2, we get the second row is 0, 4, 4 and third row is as it is and first row is as it is. Now we have to convert second and third row to convert to make a 1 in place of second number element or in the second row and second column. So finally we get the 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2 and 0, 4, 4. Now we have to make a 0 in place of 4 number. So finally we apply the minus 4 R2 plus R3 on the third number row, then we get this type of situation. Our final situation is like this: 1, 2, 3 is the first row, second row is 0, 1, 2 and third row is 0, 0, minus 4. So that is the one type of row echelon form, but here in the last element we have a 4, so we have to convert into the 1 by applying the by dividing the last row by 4 or minus 4. Then we get the 0, 1, 0, 1 in the last row, that is our last leading element. In the second one we have a 0, 1, 2, that is our second leading element, and in the first one we have a 1, 2, 3, that is our first leading element. So that is a perfect row echelon form of our matrix. So after applying the row operations, properly row operations, we can get the row echelon form of a matrix. Here we can't apply the column operation, we can use only a row operations. And rank of matrix is nothing but number of leading element in the row echelon form of a matrix. So first of all convert into the row echelon form or reduced row echelon form, and then we get the number of rank. So rank is here 3 because we have a 3 leading elements in the row echelon form. Now we will see the next example. In this example we have to convert into the reduced row echelon form and find the rank. So here we first write down the matrix. Our original matrix is this. Here we can see that in the first number row and first column entry is 1, and below the particular first row 1 is not 0, all entries are 0. Here we can see that the third number row entries is 0 in the first column, but second and fourth number row don't have a 0. So we have to convert into the 0 number. So apply these two operations to convert the second row first column entry 0 and fourth row first column entry 0. So here after applying these two operations on this matrix, we get the matrix like this. In that matrix we can see that second number and fourth number row are changed, and first and third are as it is. So second number we in the second number row we add the first row into the second one, we get the 0, 2, 0 and 5. You can check easily. In the fourth row we are multiplying our first row with -2 and adding into the fourth number row, then we get the 0, -1, 6 and -5. Now we have we have to adjust the new leading elements in the next 2, 3 and 4th row. So here we apply the R23 to adjust the second leading element in the second row. So we can easily adjust the second leading element in the second row, second column, applying the second, interchanging the second and third row. Now we get the new operations to adjust 0 in place of 2. So here we just multiply second row with -2 and adding into third row. So our new entries are given in the black color, which is 0, 0, -4 and 7 after applying this particular operation on third row. And now we have to convert the -1 in the second column into the 0. So we are adding the second row into the fourth row. So then after we get last row becomes the 0, 0, 8 minus 6. Now we have to arrange the leading element into the third number row. So we have to make -4 into the one number. So we divide third row by -1/4 and we get the one leading element right side to the second leading element in the third row, and we get this type of situation after applying -1/4 R3 on third number row. Now we apply the -8 R3 adding into R4, then we finally get the last row is equal to 0, 0, 0, 8, and we perfectly convert all the entries below the leading element is equal to 0. Now our 8 is the last leading element, we have to convert into the 1. So we divide the fourth row, divide by 8, then we get the perfectly row echelon form of our matrix. But here we have to convert into the reduced row echelon form. So finally we have a row echelon form is like this, and in the reduced row echelon form all the entries below is already 0, but we have to convert into the above entries must be 0. So here we set the all entries 0 in last column. So here we apply the first R1 minus R4 on R1, then we get the first row last element is 0. Then we have to convert -1 below the 0 is equal to 0. So therefore that we are adding the fourth row into the second one, we get the 0 there. And now to convert -7/4 into the 0 number, we apply the fourth row, multiply with 7/4 and adding into third one, we get the 0 at that place. So we can see that the last 4 number leading element, all the elements above the leading one are all now 0. Now we are converting -2 and -3 and 2 into the 0 entries by applying the R1 plus 3R3 on R1. So we get the 0 in place of -3 in the third column, and now we have to convert 2 into 0 form. We apply the -2 times R3 adding into R2, then we get -3 and 2 are 0 entries. Now we have to convert 2 in the second column should be 0. So we are applying the operation -2 R2 plus R1 on R1, then we get the reduced row echelon form of our original matrix. So here we already first convert into the row echelon form, and then we set all the entries above the leading element convert into the 0 using the row operations. So here the rank of matrix is number of leading element in the row echelon form or reduced row echelon form. Here we have a 4 leading elements in this reduced row echelon form. So then finally we have a rank of A equal to 4. So here we discussed some topics on the row echelon form, reduced row echelon form and rank of a matrix, and now in the next lecture we will discuss more topics of this unit, which are like matrix representation of a system of linear equation, Gauss elimination method and Gauss-Jordan elimination method from our first unit, linear algebra of applied mathematics. Thank you very much.